and welcome to Spirit Touched. We're talking about grief. If we are not careful, grief can become a poison. We all have our own way of dealing with it and purging it. It can be like that fire shut up in our bones of Jeremiah 20, verse 9. It can make us stronger if we let it, or it can destroy us. Charlie Brown was always saying good grief, and yes, it is and can be depending on how we handle it. The real trick is not to let it hinder us. It doesn't have any definite time period or any specific rules. It's something we just have to go through. It's not always because we lost a loved one. It can be due to losses of a job or a divorce. It can be due to a loss from a fire or weather event. When it does come, we need to let family and friends help us through. Shutting people out during those times can only make it harder and make us feel worse. Part of grief can be denying how we feel. Some even say, I don't have time to grieve, or I have to be strong for the children. Encourage the one grieving to take care of themselves. Sometimes how we grieve depends on the kind of relationship we had with the person we lost. The hardest kind can be if it was a violent or senseless death. When that happens, lawsuits often follow because the family wants justice. Sometimes they even want money, but money won't bring back their loved one. Both eventually bring closure, but they draw out and prolong the process. Sometimes wise counsel can help. Remembering the good things about the lost loved one and the good times you had with them also helps. Best of all is thanking God for the season He allowed you to have with that person and those good times. Then take your grief to the foot of the cross and leave it there. Yes, let the tears flow because they help clean out the grief. Please don't wait until you think you're going to die from grief before you turn it over to the Lord. Ask Him at the beginning to take you through because He knows you can't do it by yourself. Isaiah 53, 3 and 4. Do not hang on to it because it can and will eat your soul away. Going through it really does make you stronger. Why? Because it's an exercise of your faith and trust. Yes, going through it really is healing. Taking these steps is the healthy way to go through it. Why? Because it does affect us emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Psalm 31:9, Part C. Let your grief bring you to the place of 1 Samuel 1:16. Grieving is not fun, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun while you are. Please do not make the mistake of trying to hold it all inside because eventually it will explode. That's not always a pretty sight. Yes, grief can kill you. People do die of grief. Knowing Jesus is there with you is a comfort. In fact, one of the best things about being a Christian is knowing that when we die, we will see not only Jesus, but our friends, family members, and fellow Christians when we get to heaven. It's going to be like the hymn says, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, there will be lots of singing, shouting, and dancing. That's one good reason why funerals and memorial services should really be called celebrations of life. Why? Because what we are really doing is sending our loved ones home. Death is one of the doors to heaven. Singer Dallas Holmes got it right with his beautiful hymn. He is risen and I'm forgiven. Heaven's door is open wide and He's alive. Google it and have a listen. It will lift your spirits to a whole new level. We are going to a family reunion and we will have a wonderful time up there. We do have a home in glory. Keep in mind that out of the ashes of grief come beauty and blessings you never imagined possible. When they come, embrace them with thanksgiving. Remember, a grave headstone is a memorial to the person, not a resting for them. This is why we need to invest in our faith and cultivate it. Draw strength from it. We have to be immersed and filled with it, not just surrounded by it. You may send your prayer request to heanswerstwo@gmail.com, and we'll ask him to help you through your period of grief.